Hello everyone, it is week 15A of our CSA shares for the 2024 season. I am Stephanie, your CSA coach, and we are going to jump right into this week's share. We have basil. I've already taken the elastic band off my basil and thrown it right into a glass of water. This will sit on the counter, so basil likes to stay at room temperature. Basil can be used for dressings, great for pestos. If you still have basil left over from previous weeks, make a big batch of pesto, and then I like to freeze it into little cubes so that I can just pull those out and use them like individual servings. The pesto would go amazing on our spaghetti squash, which we have this week, so that's an option. I am going to use basil in a recipe, I think, for next week, so stay tuned for that. But there will be a recipe for basil coming up, but stored on the counter just like this in a glass jar. We have salad greens. Salad greens are stored just like this. Don't wash them until you're ready to use them. Once you're ready to use them, pull them out of the fridge. So they're stored in the fridge just like this. Pull them out of the fridge, throw them into a big bowl of water or fill your sink with water, swish them around in the water, pull them out, throw them into your salad spinner, get them nice and dry, and then dress them. Salad mix is a really good base for a salad or simply as a side. So you can just simply dress the greens as is with a light vinaigrette or just olive oil and vinegar, and serve them just like that, or add a bunch of other ingredients to make a big salad. Take a look at our salad board PDF or I think it's called Salad in a Jar. There's also that PDF. The salad mix would work really well for that. We have a bunch of tomatoes. So tomatoes are stored on the counter just like this. When you're ready to use them, wash them, slice them up. They're great on top of burgers, on top of sandwiches. If you make a grilled cheese, a slice of fresh tomato is amazing on a grilled cheese. There's a roasted tomato sauce on the blog or on the website. There's also tomato jam. I just like to slice them up and sprinkle a little sea salt on them and eat them as a side or a snack. But they're great as is, and they are amazing and tasteful. What else? Tomatoes can be used for bruschetta, for salsa. Pretty sure I'm going to use some form of tomato in this week's recipe. So in addition to the item I'm showcasing. We also got to pick a quart of cherry tomatoes. Same idea, leave them on your counter. Once you're ready to use them, wash them up, take off the stems, eat them just as a snack like that. You can roast them. They'd be really good on top if you're getting the sourdough. They'd be really good roasted on top of that. There's also a recipe for a whipped regatta with herbs in it on the website. And if you roast these up, they would be a good side for that. And you could do it like a regatta toast. Also good for bruschetta, also good for roasted tomato sauce, also good for salsa. We used ours last week to make a salsa for some sort of, we did a bunch of Mexican dishes last week. So we had salsa all week long using the tomatoes from last week. We have red onions. Red onions are stored in a cool, dry place away from our potatoes. These are cured, so they will last a while. You can slice them up and roast them. You can use them in your grill packets. You can use them in bruschetta. You can use them in salsa. Use them in dressings. There's a recipe for a whole roasted onion. I think it's a different variety in that recipe, but you can use any variety. These will be showcased in this week's recipe also. Garlic's also stored in a cool, dry place. It is cured. If you've been following me for long enough, you know I love garlic, and basically double or triple the garlic in any recipe. So I know when I'm creating recipes, I need to tone down my garlic a little bit. It's really amazing roasted, so simply slice off the top, throw it in the oven in some foil, let it get good and roasted, and then pull it out. We've used roasted garlic on top of pizza. We've also used it on top of toast. Really amazing we just used roasted garlic to make a roasted garlic butter with a fresh bread that I made. So that's an option. You can add garlic to your vinaigrettes, your salad dressings, your sheet pan meals. There's garlic in quite a few recipes on the website. So that doesn't last long in our house. We got to pick edamame, so we got a quart of edamame. This gets stored in the fridge in either a Ziploc bag or a plastic container or a glass container. Once you're ready to use it, the easiest way, so we have been just eating it as a snack, or as when we had the watermelon, we were making the watermelon poke bowls. But this is, we rinse them up, we throw it into boiling water for a few minutes, pull them out, rinse them off, and then just pull the beans out. So the outside is not eaten, but the inside where it bulges are the beans. Once it's cooked, those easily squeeze out. I usually take them out of the pods and then sea salt them. But you can just put sea salt on the pods and kind of bite them and pull the beans out as well. But great snack. My family loves them, just served as a side. So I will probably boil these up for a snack tonight because we're doing a later dinner. That's edamame. We also got to pick shishitos, so a pint of shishitos. These get stored in the fridge in a Debbie Meyer green bag or a Ziploc bag or a plastic container. These can be eaten raw, so you can throw them on top of salad. They're most often sauteed, so you can do them on high heat and do like a blistered shishito. You can grill them, you can throw them into stir fries, and you can also create a sheet pan and roast them. Lots of ways to use them. You can also pickle them. We've been getting them for quite a few weeks, so try a couple different recipes. I know I have a shishitos 3 different ways on the website, so if you need a different option, search the website for that. We also have peppers. So I have sweet peppers and bell peppers stored in the fridge in your crisper drawer. These can be eaten raw. You can chop them up and just have them as a snack. You can do a big sheet pan meal. You can throw them into your grill packets. You can throw them on top of your salad. You can saute them. You can throw them into stir fry. You can chop them up and throw them into like a salsa. I just recently used a bunch and I can't remember for what. Oh, on Friday, I posted a recipe on freezing the peppers. So take a look at that on Friday. I gave you quick directions on how to flash freeze your peppers. So I have all the peppers we had left over that I hadn't used yet. I flash froze, which makes an amazing addition for your chilies or your stews or your soups for the winter. So that's an option. I also didn't pull out, here we go, didn't leave them on the counter. We got to pick 3 hot peppers. So this is a jalapeno, stored the same way our other peppers are, so in your crisper drawer until you're ready to use them. Your hot pepper, any of them, basically adds heat to a dish. So if you want to add heat to your salsas, if you want to roast them up, they will add heat. You can throw them into chilies, they'll add heat. The actual pepper, if you remove the seeds and the membranes from the inside, it's less hot than if you include that in the recipe. These can be frozen whole, or they can be chopped up and frozen sliced. Totally up to you. I usually, once I get quite a few of them, I freeze them sliced because I use them for the hot pepper honey. So take a look at that recipe if you haven't tried that already. We have potatoes. Potatoes get stored in a cool, dry place away from our onions and our garlic. These can be roasted, they can be grilled, they can be sauteed on the stovetop for like a breakfast side. I most often usually chop them up and serve them as a side for whatever protein dish we're having for dinner. They also pair really well with eggs. There's a potato wrap recipe on the website. There's also, pretty sure I have a potato crusted quiche on there. So take a look if you're looking for different options. They would also make amazing addition to a fritter. So you could use those instead of, I believe I used the summer squash. You could use potatoes instead. We have spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash is stored in a cool, dry place. This will last several months. Generally, we slice it in half or slice it into rings and then roast it. Once it's good and roasted, you will be able to poke it with a fork, and then that flesh becomes spaghettied. I'm not even sure if that's a word, but you shred it up and it turns into like a spaghetti-like dish. You can just serve it with like olive oil and herbs, or a butter and herb, garlic, or you can actually put a sauce on it. There are several recipes on the website for spaghetti squash, so take a look at those. And last but not least, we have cantaloupe, our yummy, delicious, sweet cantaloupe, sugar cube cantaloupe. This is stored in the fridge, just like this. Once you're ready to eat it, slice it in half, remove those seeds, cube it or slice it into wedges, serve it like that. This week's recipe will showcase cantaloupe, so stay tuned for that. On Thursday that will be posted. So if you're waiting for that, throw this into the fridge and hold on to it until Thursday, and there'll be a recipe coming for cantaloupe. That is it for this week. Take a look at what you have left from previous weeks. Try to manage that and figure out how you're using everything. Begin thinking about how you're going to preserve some of the harvest to make it last longer. Freezing, canning, drying herbs, all options for preserving our harvest. And then kind of focus on this week's share. First items you're going to want to use are the salad mix, and probably the basil. Since we've been getting basil for a while, try to figure out what you're going to use your basil for. That is it, and I will see you guys all next week. Next week is Labor Day week, so Monday is Labor Day. Tuesday, I moved my son into college, so I will not be live on Tuesday. Instead, I will be live on Thursday. So I had to switch my pickup day because of the move-in. So just stay tuned for that. We'll post and make sure everyone knows that the live is getting switched to Thursday at 3 instead of Tuesday at 3. So I will see you all again next week.